Welcome back to the channel, my freedom-loving, two-way supporting patriots, for another Sunday Thoughts episode. This week marked the 8-year anniversary of the Century 16 shooting out here in Aurora, Colorado. And I kind of just wanted to share my story about the events, kind of what happened with that and how it led to me getting into guns. So the shooting took place July 20th, 2012. At a Century 16, which is a local movie theater to us here. It's the one my family and I would always go when we wanted to catch a flick. It's actually, they changed the name, but it's the one we still go to now. So at midnight, they're doing a midnight release of the new Batman movie, and one of my best friends and his wife and I were all planning on attending that. And had been talking about it for quite a while. We were pretty excited to go and attend that movie. And earlier that evening, his wife became pretty sick and was not feeling well at all. So we decided to go ahead and postpone going to that movie. So we didn't go to the movie. And now, kind of looking back at it, that was a great blessing, obviously, that we weren't there for when the shooting took place. But it kind of also gives you those what if, thoughts. What if I'd been there? Could I have helped? Could I have done something to help? I could have been a victim, or my friend and his wife. It puts a lot of what ifs into your mind. So on that tragic night, 12 people lost their lives, and quite a few more were injured as well. And it's just a horrific event. So we ended up not going to the movie that night. And I normally stay up pretty late. I'm a night person. And so I went to bed pretty late and do remember hearing some sirens. But I lived next to a real busy street. And so sirens were pretty common. But went to bed. When I go to bed, I always turn my phone off, the sound off, so I can sleep better. And, not be woken up, of course. And by the time I woke up the next morning, I rolled over and checked my phone, and I don't remember the exact number, but I just had tons and tons of missed calls and voicemails and text messages from friends and families and coworkers like, hey, are you okay? Are you alive? Please let me know that you're okay. And a good chunk of those were really from my sister and my mother, who are just like, I can't imagine how scared and worried they were, because they all knew we were supposed to be at that movie, and then with my friend's wife getting sick, not going, we didn't tell anyone, it's not a big deal why would you announce to everyone you're not going to a movie you were planning on? So rolled over, checked my phone, and I'm like looking at it like, what happened, what's going on, it's not common for me to have that amount of calls and texts and stuff. And so I'm looking at it, and then my sister calls me again right when I'm looking at it, and I answer. And just to hear like the fear in her voice from kind of when I answered to like straight relief, knowing that I was okay, was crazy. And she'd gotten up quite a bit earlier than me, so she knew everything that was going on and knew we were supposed to be there. And at this point, I still didn't have a clue what had happened. And she was just kind of freaked out, and then just straight to relief. And she's like, you need to turn on the news, this is what happened, go check out the news. So I ran into my living room, flipped on the TV and checked it out, and proceeded the next couple hours making calls and texts to people, letting them know, hey, I'm okay. It turns out we didn't go. And it's just such a tragic event that took place 8 years ago. And so many people are still reeling from that loss, losing loved ones or ones who are there and traumatized from it, and it just leaves holes, and it's just horrible what happened. So the reason I kind of bring all that up, I want to transition is to the next story, is that's what officially sparked my interest into firearms. So after that happened, I'm like, man, if I was there, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. but you know, if I had a gun, maybe I could have done something. And so that's when I got super into guns and started researching and picked up my first gun, and then, you know, practiced with it and looked into going to getting a concealed weapons permit here. And that all kind of just snowballed into what you see today, which is like just a good passion and love for firearms and the 2A. And it is a right for each and every one of us to be able to protect ourselves. And so, you know, now I look back and like, man, if I would have been where I'm at right now and I would have been there, you know, I could have probably stopped this guy or at least helped. And so that's what kind of sparked my interest in the guns, and how I started, bought my first pistol. Shortly after that was my first rifle, and then, you know, getting my concealed permit and being able to learn how to protect myself and my loved ones. Should anything like that ever happen again, you know, you watch, say, active self-protection, man, stuff can happen like that just out of nowhere, and you never know when or where it's going to happen. And so you want to be able to protect yourself best you can and your loved ones. So if you guys wouldn't mind, go ahead and just take a moment of silence and lift those up in prayer, you know, who are victims from that shooting. For those who lost friends and loved ones, they're still hurting, you know, those who are hurt there, you know, and living with those memories. Lift them up in prayer, and if you wouldn't mind, and just that God, you know, will give them peace and comfort, and, you know, He's our provider. I truly believe that. And He gives and takes away. We don't know why all the time, but, you know, it's not for us to understand now, I suppose. So that's all I got for this one, you guys. I appreciate you as always, and God bless.